In God Bless America, terminally ill Frank goes on a mission to rid society of its most repellent citizens.
My name is Chloe, I live in Virginia Beach, and everyone loves me because I'm so pretty. I wanted an Escalade! This is the biggest day of my life, and I'm doing all the work!
Hey, creepy. Isn't the schoolgirl thing a little played out?
Don't move and don't make a sound.
If you want the car, just take it. My parents got me the wrong one anyways.
Yeah, that's a tragedy.
Did you just kill Chloe? Awesome.
When I first saw the trailer for God Bless America, I thought it looked hysterical because I can relate to this guy on a certain level. For example, when I was younger, about 3 years ago, I got fed up and I brought a gun into a movie theater and I got caught trying to shoot somebody in the head for talking. And that's not true, but I have thought about stuff like that, not to that extreme, and I'm sure we all have. When you're sitting in a theater and you hear someone talking behind you and you just kind of want to turn around and punch him in the face. So I can relate on some level to this guy's issue, but I thought it looked funny because I'm a big fan of black comedy or dark comedy or whatever you want to call it, and I don't get offended really, so, you know, I think that everything is funny or everything is up to be funny, I guess, and so it certainly wasn't going to offend me. I could see how people might be offended, especially, you know, the people that are being killed in the movie. So flash forward to when I finally got to see it, and it was basically Super meets Saw, in the sense that the guy's terminally ill and he's killing people that don't deserve to live, in his opinion. But it's also like Super because he befriends a young girl and they go around killing people together. And I'm not saying that it like copied that movie at all. I'm just saying that I didn't really like Super that much, and I didn't really love God Bless America either. Now, don't get me wrong, I didn't dislike it. I just thought that it was too cynical for me to really enjoy, and something interesting about that is that it almost opened my eyes like, don't be like this guy, because this guy is overly cynical. However, that problem and another problem I had, I guess, couldn't be avoided for this movie. The other problem I had is that it was a little too over-exaggerated. Like, the people that were making fun of the guy on the American Idol spoof, you know, I mean, maybe it happens somewhere, but I've never heard people being that cruel. And if I had, it was like one person out of 10 or 20. In the movie, it's everybody. So in the movie, it's way over-exaggerated, but I guess it has to be for it to make sense, because if it was only one person, I guess the guy could get over it. And then on the other side, like I said, it was a little too cynical. Like, the guy's talking about, you know, the TV show. I'll keep going along with the American Idol example. And in my mind, I was like, well, then just don't watch it, I guess. You know, I don't channel surf. If I channel surfed, I might kill somebody too. But maybe that's why I don't channel surf, because it's like, no one's forcing me to watch it. Leave it alone. This guy channel surfed and watched it. No one's forcing him to. So, you know, obviously, I am well aware that these problems that I had are not problems because they really had to happen for the movie to make sense. Otherwise, it would be just kind of like the guy's like semi-annoyed by society, when in the movie he has to be completely annoyed by society. But let's get a little more into the plot. Now, the plot, like I said, reminded me of Super, and once again, not saying it ripped off or anything like that. I think it's a pretty simple concept. You just are fed up with society and you go crazy and kill everybody. I mean, I'm sure it's been done before as well, but it reminded me of it because of the girl, I guess, more than anything, the girl joining in. And I have to say, there was an interesting little twist with the girl. I appreciated that, but overall, that dynamic kind of weirds me out because I don't know, I just don't really like it, and it didn't do anything for me. It didn't really bring anything new to the table, in my opinion, and it kind of just felt a little stale. Which is weird because I thought it looked hysterical from the trailer, but then I guess, you know, it kind of works best almost as a trailer, or maybe as a short film, in my opinion. Something you could share with a friend and be like, dude, hate society, man, check this out. But as an hour-and-a-half long film, or whatever it is, hour and 40, it kind of lost my interest after a while. So, yeah, I wasn't really into it. Directing-wise, I have to say I'm not a big fan of, like, the blood splattering on your face, but that's what this type of movie is. So, once again, I'm well aware that this movie just wasn't for me, but it will probably be a huge hit for many other people. I'm well aware of that. I'm obviously just giving you my opinion here. But I'm not a big fan of stuff like that, where the blood splatters in like kind of a goofy, over-the-top way. And so, you know, that happens a couple times, I guess. And finally, acting. Now, I thought the main guy was great. Thought he was very, very good. The girl, I thought, was a little bit too much. a little too over the top, and I didn't buy into it, so it kind of didn't make sense for me. But the guy I thought was very good. So anything with just him, I was good with, and I was enjoying it. Especially the one thing that keeps popping into my head, and I have to mention it, is the part where he tries to kill the Super Sweet 16 girl, and he tries to light up the car, and it falls out. That whole sequence was very, very funny. So, little bits like that, because the guy was very funny, definitely worked well. And the last thing that I will say is that the movie is a bit hypocritical, because I think it really should be completely unbiased on every account, but it clearly has a political bias. And now, let me say, I don't care about politics, really. I don't care about politics in movies. A lot of times people are like, oh, this movie was so left or right or whatever. I don't really even know what that means. I'm happily ignorant on that kind of stuff, because otherwise it would kill all movies for me, because people argue stuff like that for like every single movie. So in this movie, the fact that I noticed that it definitely was a bit politically biased says something, because I don't care about that stuff. But in this movie, it's a bit hypocritical to be biased in any way, I think. So that was the only other thing that really stuck out to me, and so I do think that's a bit of an issue. Like, it was trying to make points, and in a movie like this, I feel like you can't really make points and then go and shoot people in the head. Kind of odd. But once again, this movie's really not something I was into. I do think that a lot of people will enjoy it. It's going to be a big hit for a small market, I think. So good for those people, but, not really for me. I appreciate the concept. I do think it's a funny concept, but I don't think it really came together well enough in this movie. So let me know in the comments what you thought of God Bless America. Let me know if you agree or disagree about the unbiased thing, where I think it should have been completely unbiased, but it had a bit of a bias. One way or the other. I'm not going into that, but I did feel a bit of a bias in the movie. So let me know what you think of that. Let me know what you think of the movie overall, and that's pretty much it.
I know it's not normal to want to kill, but I am no longer normal.
Really gotta take both those spots?
Yeah.